Have you ever wondered why we're so afraid of being disliked? In a world where likes, followers, and constant validation drive our behavior, what would happen if you had the courage to be yourself, even if others disapproved? Did you know that 7 out of 10 people admit to changing their behavior or decisions just to please others? Today, we're exploring a revolutionary idea that might just change how you view yourself and your relationships. Welcome to The Courage to be Disliked, a journey through Alfred Adler's life-changing philosophy that has helped millions find authentic freedom. By the end of our time together, you'll discover practical tools to break free from the prison of others' expectations and live life on your own terms. Picture Vienna in 1870. The streets are alive with revolutionary ideas, and in this vibrant city, a boy is born who will challenge everything we think we know about human behavior. This is Alfred Adler. Like many great stories, this begins with a chance meeting, in this case, with the famous Sigmund Freud. At first, they seemed aligned in their quest to understand the human mind, but as Adler watched his patients, he began seeing something Freud didn't. In 1911, Adler made a decision that would change psychology forever. Where Freud saw humans as prisoners of their past desires, Adler saw something revolutionary. He saw possibility. Think of it this way. Freud was like someone analyzing the rearview mirror, believing our past controls everything. But Adler? He was watching the road ahead, convinced we're driven by where we want to go, not where we've been. Adler introduced a radical idea, that feelings of inferiority aren't chains holding us back, but rocket fuel propelling us forward. Every time you've felt not good enough and used that feeling to grow, that's Adler's theory in action. Why was this revolutionary? When Freud said, your unconscious desires control you, Adler said, your conscious choices define you. When Freud focused on uncovering past trauma, Adler focused on building future strength. When Freud saw people as products of their history, Adler saw them as creators of their destiny. But perhaps Adler's most powerful insight was about connection. He introduced the concept of Gemeinschaftsgefühl. Yes, it's a mouthful, meaning our deep need to contribute to the community. While others saw humans as isolated beings, Adler recognized that true fulfillment comes from meaningful connection with others. And this is why, over a century later, Adler's ideas in The Courage to be Disliked feel so relevant. In a world obsessed with individual success, Adler reminds us that real happiness comes from something deeper, the courage to be ourselves and contribute to something larger than ourselves. Imagine walking into a small study on a winter evening. There, you find 2 people engaged in a conversation that's about to change everything you think about life. This is The Courage to be Disliked, not your typical self-help book, but a dialogue between a wise philosopher and a young man struggling with questions we all share. Why make it a dialogue? Because through these conversations, complex ideas suddenly become clear. As the young man challenges the philosopher with his doubts and fears, we see our own struggles reflected in their exchange. The book presents 3 powerful ideas. First, that seeking everyone's approval is a prison we build ourselves. Second, that real freedom comes from living by our own values, not society's expectations. And third, that true happiness isn't found in isolation, but in what Adler called social interest. Our contribution to the community around us. This isn't just another book telling you to be yourself. It's an invitation to a new way of living, one where you have the freedom to walk your own path, the strength to face disapproval, and the wisdom to find meaning and connection with others. One of Adler's most practical concepts from The Courage to be Disliked is the separation of tasks. Adler teaches us that we should only handle our own tasks, not those of others. This means recognizing what responsibilities belong to us and what doesn't. It's about setting boundaries and not getting entangled in others' life decisions or emotional states. Here's how this plays out in the book. The young man struggles with his parents' expectations. The philosopher explains that his parents' feelings about his life choices are their task, not his. He can't control their emotions. He can only control his actions and decisions. In real life, think about a situation where you might feel responsible for a friend's happiness. If your friend is upset because they didn't get a job they wanted, you might feel compelled to fix it. But according to Adler, their job search and emotional response to rejection are their tasks. Your task might be to offer support or advice if asked, but not to take on their emotional burden or consider a team project at work. Your task is to do your part well. If a colleague isn't pulling their weight, you can offer help, but ultimately, their performance is their task. This concept liberates us from unnecessary stress and fosters healthier relationships by acknowledging where our control begins and ends. By understanding and applying the separation of tasks, we respect others' autonomy while maintaining our own, leading to a more peaceful and productive life. In The Courage to be Disliked, the dialogue between the philosopher and the young man serves as a perfect backdrop for exploring Adler's concept of teleology versus etiology. The young man is initially caught up in the past, questioning why his life has turned out a certain way due to his experiences. Traditionally, psychology, especially through Freud's lens, has been very etiological, focusing on past events as the primary drivers of our current behaviors. It's all about, why am I this way because of what happened? Adler introduced teleology, which shifts the focus to our goals, aspirations, and the future we envision for ourselves. Instead of asking, why am I this way? Yapt, swing, we ask, what do I want to become? This concept challenges the idea that our past dictates our future. It suggests that we're not just products of our history, but creators of our destiny. Imagine someone who's always seen themselves through the lens of past failures or traumas. An etiological view would keep them anchored there, but teleology empowers them to see those experiences as stepping stones to where they want to go, not as shackles holding them back. This perspective encourages a proactive approach to life, where personal growth and mental well-being are about envisioning and moving towards a better future, not being stuck in what was. In the book, the young man grapples with feelings of inferiority, which is a perfect setup for understanding Adler's theory on inferiority and the drive for superiority. Adler believed that everyone experiences some level of inferiority, which isn't necessarily negative. Instead, it's this very sense of inferiority that motivates us to strive for what he calls superiority, not in a domineering sense, but as a push towards personal growth and self-improvement. We're driven to overcome our perceived shortcomings, to become better, to achieve our potential. This striving for superiority, when understood correctly, fuels our development. It's what pushes athletes to train harder, students to study more, or anyone to better themselves in their personal or professional life. It's about setting goals and working towards them. However, if misinterpreted, this drive can lead to issues like an inferiority complex or an unhealthy superiority complex, where one might feel perpetually inadequate or, conversely, act superior to mask insecurities. For example, someone might constantly seek validation or become overly competitive, not for self-improvement, but out of a fear of being seen as less than. The book uses these concepts to illustrate how recognizing our inferiority can be the first step towards meaningful change, but it's crucial to channel this into constructive growth rather than letting it spiral into negative self-perception or arrogance. Understanding and correctly applying these concepts can lead to a balanced, purpose-driven life. The theme of social interest, or Gemeinschaftsgefühl, plays a significant role in the dialogue between the philosopher and the young man, highlighting its importance in personal and communal life. Gemeinschaftsgefühl, a German term coined by Adler, translates roughly to community feeling or social interest. It refers to our innate drive to connect with others, contribute to society, and find meaning through our relationships and contributions beyond ourselves. It's about empathy, cooperation, and the understanding that our well-being is inextricably linked to the well-being of others. In the book, this concept is explored when the young man learns that true happiness isn't found in isolation or self-centered pursuits, but through engaging with and contributing to the community. The philosopher argues that personal fulfillment comes not from being liked or achieving personal success alone, but from feeling part of something larger than oneself. This idea of social interest challenges the individualistic approach often promoted in modern societies. Instead, it suggests that mental health, personal satisfaction, and societal health are enhanced when we work for the common good, For instance, when the young man starts considering how his actions affect those around him, he begins to understand that his personal growth and societal contribution are intertwined. Adler believed that this sense of community feeling is crucial for both individual psychology and the health of society at large. By fostering Gemeinschaftsgefühl, we not only find personal meaning, but also help create a more cohesive, supportive, and thriving community. Adler's teachings guide us to live with authenticity and courage. By standing firm in our values, even when facing criticism or rejection, we liberate ourselves from the fear of judgment, embracing true self-expression. This clarity extends to redefining success, not by societal norms, but by aligning personal goals with our passions, thus crafting a meaningful life. In relationships, acknowledging each individual's responsibilities fosters mutual respect. Support becomes encouragement rather than control, leading to healthier, more fulfilling connections. These principles empower us to live boldly, remain true to ourselves, and build stronger, more meaningful relationships. His ideas are profoundly relevant in today's fast-paced world. His emphasis on self-determination offers a fresh perspective in an era dominated by social media and the quest for external validation, urging us to live according to our own values. Take a moment to think, how might these ideas apply to your own journey? If they resonate, I encourage you to dive deeper into the book and its concepts. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It helps us reach more people, and feel free to share it with someone who might benefit from these insights. Leave your thoughts in the comments and let me know what topics you'd like to explore in future videos. Thank you for watching, and here's to living with courage and authenticity. See you next time.